Yo, DDP. Gotta make sure my audio. Yeah, my audio's working. What am I doing? Oh, this. There we go. Oh, I don't have that. Okay, hold on. My brain's not fully working right now. Just forgetting half the stuff I need to do. You know how it is, you know? Just forgetting all the stuff you need to do. The question is, does my going live thing work? My brain rarely fully works. Yeah, I feel it. Oh, I didn't even run the ads. Run ads. They must do maintenance on the bot or something that I use on Friday nights, because it just never works on Friday night. I don't understand. Or maybe too many people or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say, really? I'm not 100% sure what we're doing. I kind of said working on game dev and then art, but it might be the other way around. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of feel like we might just do this is not what I want to open. Part of me feels like we might just do a short stream today. I'm kind of like really tempted to like actually take kind of a vacation for the holidays. Because I think I'm burnt out. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Let me sorry, I'm just getting everything ready here. Well, I guess we still have the timer. All right, music's a little loud technically. No complaints from me. If you do, definitely deserve it. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know to what extent that would be. Whether it's just like I'll still stream, but I won't like work on stuff past that, or I don't know. Like I know we need to do the what's it called? The play test all the game jam games and stuff. But okay, hold on just a second. We'll pull up this, I guess, and then we'll talk about what we're doing, and then we'll do it. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, huzzah. Okay, this one. Hello. Why do I look so short? Oh, I know why, because I changed this for standing desk and then I didn't fix it back. Oops. How did I do that even? Guess we can do that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm just, I don't know, have not found the energy to want to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's been tiring. But yeah, and honestly, I think there's still some stuff I can like put out there, like I want to just throw the Blackthorn prod videos I did onto my YouTube channel. I don't think it could hurt, you know, even without any extra editing. I did kind of want to look at that. Like, what is the... I feel like I haven't seen the Stellar Shift video in a minute. I'm kind of wondering if I can just post it with zero context onto my channel. Yeah, this just isn't okay. At stream notifications, we are live. I swear it just doesn't work on Fridays. Why? I don't know. I think I know how to fix it, but I could do 2 separate notifications for Twitch and YouTube, but who's got time for that, you know? No, it just feels like that would be annoying. Okay. We are in working order now, I think. Yeah, I kind of feel like just not worrying about stuff I need to worry about and just work on stuff that I don't like, just for fun. I feel like taking a break and like, I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to do like more motion graphic stuff and whatever. And I'm like, I really should be doing other stuff, like making videos and stuff, but I kind of just want to take a break and do just stuff I want to do, you know? I'm curious though. This probably isn't something I should be doing on stream, but I may do it anyway real quick. Especially because you probably can't hear it if I play it. I don't know why. Nope. For some reason, Windows Media Player just does not work on my computer right now. It's just broken.
Hey, Physics is a tricky theme to adapt to. And however, to tackle it, I decided.
It's kind of like a little lack of context, and then this, I guess.
Check out my YouTube channel where I talk board games, card games, tabletop RPGs.
Yeah, I kind of that one might need editing. The 1 hour one kind of is just I could just post on its own, but anyway, random thoughts. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna do a short stream today. We got this done. We got Musketeer done. We got, yeah, I guess all that's done. We probably need to talk about Game Jam for a second. Although I think most people are probably asleep who finished their game. We can go over tier list stuff. We could talk about the infinite unit problem, or rather just fix it, because we already talked about it. It's maybe not even a problem. So yeah, that's something we could talk about. We could do Mad Scientist art. We're not getting to beach today. I'm already gonna say it, but because I don't even know if we're gonna get to finishing Mad Scientist. I almost kind of feel like just working on these things and then just saving the rest of the stuff for another day, but I don't know. DDP, you're the only one here. What do you want? Do you want to talk game dev or you want me to draw? And while you decide, let's talk about the game jam for half a second. It's over. We had 5 total submissions, which I think is a pretty good number. It's about half of the entries, which is, typically, I would say some game dev. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got half the entries done, or half. It was like 11 entries and 5 of them were submitted, which I think is a, relatively good turnout, right? That's like, I was talking with my dad and he was like, yeah, there's a guy in college who was like, the rate that people would like come to parties was, he said, was like 50%. And so that's, it's like the rate of people who actually, that's usually like the statistic, right? It's like half the people actually show up. That's, pretty much what we got. I've been trying to figure out my weekend and figure out like what would work for playtesting. I've just been A, really tired, and B, trying to figure out my schedule. So we will get to all that. I just haven't had, I don't know, kind of just trying to figure stuff out, but yeah, so I think I'll definitely be getting those. I'm really happy to see everyone's games. I think it's gonna be really cool to play them. And yeah, and like I said, if someone wanted me to like look at their game and just talk about like have a call with them and talk about their game, I think I'd be down to do that too. Not necessarily score it, right? But yeah, anyway, that's good. So that's the game jam. That's all we really need to talk about. But thank you for participating. If you did and you're here. I know DDP did. I'm pretty sure you're the only one here right now. Fridays are usually slow. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, so yeah, it was a good time. Good. I'm glad you had fun. Honestly, I was tempted to join myself, like watching all you guys do, like all the cool stuff you did. I wouldn't have graded myself, obviously, but I was tempted. But I was like, nah, I got other stuff I need to do. My job is when the jam is over, But yeah. So yeah, option. First thing we need to do is fix the low power stuff on the tier list. Did I make a screenshot of this? I feel like that would have been smart. I did. Okay. So most of the stuff down here probably needs some work. King, I think we felt was weird. Wizard feels weak in any other deck other than Magic. These three wow, my voice keeps cracking. These three lands, Sky, River, and Enchanted Forest are maybe not great. They're bad situationally, but they're great in the decks that they're good in. So I think they're fine. Quicksand might need some work. All of these structures need some work, and Divination, I believe we said needs some work too. So yeah, all those cards I think need work to be fixed. Some sort of work on them. And then we do have the infinite unit fix that we need to do. We did talk a bit about that last time. Some of the people in Discord server were talking about it too. A few of them were saying that it's okay, probably, to have it be that way. Like, it is okay to have an infinite glitch, you know, infinite unit generation, just like how it's like, oh, now I have infinite mana and I destroy everything, right? And in Magic. And I guess I tend to agree with that, but I'm worried drawing 4 exact cards. Actually, you know what? Let's ask AI, because I don't feel like doing the math. In my game, I found a set of cards that can give infinite units. Yeah, I spelled infinite wrong. The chances of getting, or what are the chances of drawing 4 cards in a deck of 24 cards? Let's just say turn 1, if you draw 5 cards. Actually, we'll just give it the rules at I'm just curious, honestly, the start of the game and 2 on each round. Technically that can change, but the start of each turn. One card has 2 copies in the deck. I think the fact that it's 4 cards is alright to exist, but having it in a constructed deck is a cause for concern. Yeah. Need clarification, correct number. When you say the chances of drawing 4 cards in a deck of 24 cards. Drawing all 4 specific cards in the combo in your opening hand. Drawing all for a certain turn. Chances. Give me the probability for each turn for 5 turns. It requires 4 exact cards. One of those cards has to... You know, I'm just gonna do this. This should be enough information for it. Yeah, 4 cards is alright. It does mean you could do it by turn 2. Oh, it doesn't know that. Doesn't know how many cards you can play per turn. But it knows how quickly you'll could have those cards in your deck. Technically, it's okay. Okay, chances are pretty low. Okay. So just drawing the cards, which technically it's going to be turn. This is wrong. It should be turn 2 because you draw 5 cards and then 2 for the beginning of your turn. It's 0.5% that you'll get those cards turn 1. 2% you'll get those cards game 2. I mean, if the let's see. Sorry. Turn 1, you draw 2 cards on top of the 5. Also, you can only play 2 cards per turn. Add that into, or factor that into the equation. Yeah, I don't think it's really that big of a problem, probably. Like, chances are. Like, the chances that you need to keep the cards alive, you need to get them out. By the time you get the infinite combo, it's probably too late to matter anyway, I think is probably the thing. So yeah, turn 1, there's a 0%. Wait. Right, you can't play it, right? There's a 0% probability that you can get both cards and play them. Oh, wait. No, it's got that wrong. Sort of. Maybe? The probability is very low, though, right? Like, it's probably a high probability by turn, like, 3 to 5 that you might have all those cards out. But it also seems... Infinite unit combo is 18% likely by turn 5, is extremely high, especially in a co-op game with multiplayer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. My suggestion would be leave it more playtesting. I don't think it's worth worrying about until you get a better feel of how often it's coming up. Yeah, I can agree with that. I do have like a quick fix for it if we wanted to. Just to kind of prevent infinite unit gen, but I think you might be right. It might just be worth just leaving it. Oh no, graveyard. Sorry, graveyard is a here. Because yeah, technically you could be drawing a lot more cards in the mage deck, which this is in. So there is a higher chance that you'd be getting it. But this allows you to remove 4 units from any of your cards. We could change that to be like remove 4 units from, or like remove 1 unit from this card and 3 units from any other cards. You know, it could be that. Which would fix the problem. For the most part, technically the combo would still be possible if you got Witch's Hut, which would be kind of cool. Witch's Hut is maybe an underutilized card, and I feel like it would be cool to have this be necessary for the combo. But it could actually be a cool thing to do is have Witch's Hut and Graveyard kind of synergize. Like this requires, we could even drop the unit requirement and put it directly onto this card. Like it requires to remove 2 units in order to do that, but then you need Witch's Hut, Valley, 2 graveyards and a Mage's Tower. But I don't know, it might be fine. I think you're probably right. Just wait. I think, yeah, maybe the note is keep an eye on this. You know, that's the conclusion from that. But yeah, I think you're probably right. Just keep an eye. Yeah, because it's true. I don't think that the infinite unit thing is really a problem, but it depends on how quickly you could get it in games, you know? It is hard to have just like 2 land cards or 3 land cards in a witch's tower or mage's tower just completely let you survive. Being able to get all that down, but we'll see. We might make it so you need a witch's hut to do it. But yeah, I think it's interesting regardless. So, okay. So we'll that's the solution for now. Let's look at open this. Definitely feels like the type of rabbit hole that may not be worth the effort. Yeah, I don't think it would be too bad to fix if you just like, because the reason this is a problem in the first place is that you can take units from any number of cards for graveyard, which is something I did to just prompt it being used more. But you could change this. Like, another way to get it to be used more is remove the number of units that need to be on here, like lower it to 2 or something, and then just change it to just this card, right? Like, that's another option. Granted, then you can just like pull cards from your discard pile much quicker, but that could be another way of solving it. Because I don't mind if the combo is in there. I just think it shouldn't be easy to have. You know, it should require a good amount of resources to actually get up and running. Shouldn't be something that you're able to get up and running every game, you know? So I will consider that one for a bit longer, but it might be one thing that changes. Honestly, it's kind of like there's a lot of like things that I had my eye on for a long time, like Swamp was something I had my eye on for a long time. It definitely got nerfed a lot, maybe even too much. Because I think a lot of the other lands might be better than Swamp now with the new minion changes. So yeah, we might need to fix that, but we shall see. Swamp was maybe nerfed too far, but it definitely needed to be nerfed. So anyway, let's look at the other cards that are in the tier list that need to be fixed. And then maybe the last thing we do after we do that, we'll come up with powers for what's it called? We can come up with powers for oops, clicked on something, sorry. The mad scientist maybe at the end. Or we could do that now even, but Tuna had a cool idea about like I don't know if I wrote it down. I don't think I did. It was in beta stuff. No. The base idea though was kind of cool. It was like, it was like he had stated something like if like you could basically put a bomb on a minion and then like blow him up or something. But what I thought would be cool, like I think it was like, say you play a disabled minion and then that minion, when it dies, it blows up or something. But I think like the interesting way to do that is like you have a passive effect, or I guess it's just a base effect is what it's called, right? Base effect. That's the wrong kind of base. Base. I'm thinking a little base guy. Base effect would be something like when a disabled minion dies, minion is destroyed. It disables adjacent cards. Adjacent, I guess, like monsters or minions. The balance on that, it could be different. Like it could be a single adjacent monster, a single adjacent minion, could just be minions. I don't know. And then an ability on top of that, which would just be like X cost and just disable a minion. Disable. Okay, I did spell that right. I didn't spell minion right though. I think that's kind of a cool combo. I don't know what you think, DDP, but sound like it'd be interesting. I don't know if that's kind of what you were imagining at all, but it does seem like kind of a cool sort of effect. It affects monsters directly, which kind of seems like, you know, that sort of experimentation factor, right? Kind of volatile, you know. I'd probably start with it being powerful and then end up being then nerfing it if we need to. Because disabling, I feel like disabling 2 cards would be crazy. My eyes all already racing with a few interactions, so I think it's a good sign. Yeah. It seems interesting, right? Oh, hi. Ah. Come here. Oh. Say hi to stream. I'll purr into the mic. You saying hi? But yeah, I think it's kind of a cool ability. What a lovely purr. Isn't that very cute? I was gonna say, I'm like, wonder how loud that is. It's probably like not super loud, but it's at like 20 decibels. I guess it's louder than the music is, so. Yeah. Yeah. It's surprisingly clear, yeah. I mean, she is literally touching the mic, but no, she's not facing it. But anyway. Oh, gosh. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we did that. I think that's pretty cool for that. I'm gonna head out for some food and some other things. Maybe back. No worries, dude. I appreciate you showing up and hanging out for a bit. I probably go for like maybe 2 hours total. I'm just like so tired. I haven't been sleeping as well as I should, and like I said, I feel like burnt out. So I might just need to not like, you know, just take it easy today. So but yeah, if you're back in hour and a half, I might be on, but there's a chance I will be, or I guess between an hour and a half I might be on, but if not, it will probably be gone. But yeah, appreciate you being here as always, DDP. As Toot would say, you're a real one. Okay. That's cool. Let's look at the other cards we need to fix. I might just do it on this page because it's going to be easier. While we find the cards. Actually, I guess we could just implement this right away, right? Let's go to here. Let's go to beta cards. I think most of the cards we need to change for beta cards, with the exception of Wizard. But let's add, I should have one. Insert below, hero. No, I was like, what the heck? Mad Scientist. I don't know if we want to exactly call it Mad Scientist. I think that's probably fine. We probably don't even need like a descriptive word because it's already got mad in it, you know? Where do I have it? Here. Also, before I forget, I wanted to say your interview was pretty cool. Couldn't say anything in chat because Twitch was doing Twitch things, of course, but it was fun to hear nonetheless. Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with that. It was good. It was a fun time with Nova. It'd be cool to do more stuff with her. It'd be cool if we did like art stuff together. How do I write abilities? I don't remember anymore. Remove units from this card. I'm just gonna call it like 2 units. It's probably way too cheap, but I guess it's only for minions currently. Oh wait, and I also couldn't just copy and paste that. Message held, blocked, teams, allow this, banned. Reason, spam detected. Well, goodbye. Get got, nerd. When a disabled minion is destroyed, it disables adjacent monsters. I'm trying to decide if it's of your choice. I think it's probably fine if it's just it disables a monster or minion. No, I kind of like adjacent. It's kind of interesting. Monster or minion. think that makes sense. Then remove 2 units from this card, disable a minion. So you can only disable minions. You can't disable monsters, so I think that's interesting. We'll try it. I think it will be cool. Keep going to the wrong page. Yeah, I am excited to do more playtests of armies. I feel like we haven't even tried the war deck yet. You gotta get someone on to do that. Okay, tier list abilities. Let's or tier list cards. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not what we needed. That's a font. I think we had something for King, so let's look at Indomitable King. Indomitable. Indomitable Snowman, you know? King. I think part of the thought was rather than having... When this hero is attacked, you may choose to split it with another hero, have it the other way around. Like, when a hero is attacked, you may choose to split the damage with this hero. This is technically a triggered effect, isn't it? Well, you can choose. So I almost feel like we need some sort of like tankiness to the Indomitable King then. Like maybe give him 1 unit gen and do this, and then maybe that's fair. How does that work? I need to open Tabletop Simulator. I need to figure out what I'm thinking for this. That was so loud. Oh, I guess that's pretty loud. Okay. All these cool people's games. Okay, how does this work? So let's say we have... You're playing Altruism because Altruism is the god for this deck. It's gonna work. Hopefully it works. There's been some glitches since they updated the thing, but whatever. We have this card. We have... Okay. It has seemed to be faster for the most part and feels like maybe a little more fluid. Well, in some ways, I feel like the movement of the camera, I thought there was like used to be... Is that an option? Like, I feel like it used to kind of have like a ease. Or am I crazy? Like, I can feel the game feels different, but I don't know if that's just me being crazy. I don't know. Like, I go like this. I used to feel like I remember the camera slightly continuing to move and not just stopping, but maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Okay, anyway. Say we have 2 heroes. One is the king. This guy has a bunch of units. This guy has a bunch of units. Let's just say. This card gets attacked. Let's just do an even number because it's easy. Let's say it gets attacked for 4. It can split 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with altruism in there, when this hero is, or when, so it's when another, how do I word it? When a hero is attacked, you may choose to split that damage with this hero. Okay, just having this hero on the board, though, still interacts the same way. So you could, because technically, if this hero is about to get hit, it can lose 2. This one's say again, getting hit for 4. This hero could technically lose 4 as well, but instead, it could go to here. So it actually just lets you split damage, which is really cool for altruism. But it also means you could just use it as a tank card if you're anyone else. I feel like it might not be enough to just have 1 unit gen, but am I crazy? I really used to think this like had like some, like if you're moving the camera, it would slowly like have some momentum. I feel like I need someone to validate me on that, but I don't think we have. I really thought there was like slight camera momentum. Movement speed? No. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm probably crazy. Anyway, okay, that works. I feel like he's gonna need a little something more. Like maybe he could have. When a hero is attacked, make sure you split that damage with this hero. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then we'll give him 1 unit gen, just for the fun of it. I think we could do a triggered effect that gives him like a unit when he takes damage or something. But is that more fun than just giving him 1 unit? Or can I do both? We'll try to live by the rule of make it more powerful, and and nerf it than 2 week and never play it. That is my thought on that. What was the other card I fixed already? A mad scientist. Okay, that should all be correct. Okay. We need to go to patch notes. Okay, king is done. Wizard. I'm kind of wondering if we just work on all the like beta deck card stuff first. When this hero defeats a monster, wasteland, or ruins. Wait. Was I looking at an old version of the card when we did the tier list? I was. Okay, so Wizard's already fine. Okay, we don't need to touch Wizard. I lied. We were looking at an old version of the card that I did not realize that I buffed already. Okay, cool. What else? Quicksand. Quicksand's kind of a weird one. I almost don't want to touch it right now because it's complex, but we'll see. Look at that. Look at that musketeer. Oh, wait. Can't see it behind this. Troop. Troop. Look at that. I almost feel like we need to remove the like column restriction for this. Because we already have like the cost of it, you know? So I'm kind of thinking that the ability of this costs +2 per use, resets at the start of turn. The ability on this card costs +2 per use, resets at the start of your turn. After a monster or minion attacks this card in the same column as this land, you may spend 1 unit to disable. Yeah, I just feel like that's just too much. I think we need to get rid of the column restriction and then just see how that goes. I do like the idea of like stuff having to be in the same column, but like right now it's just kind of worthless. After a monster mini attacks a card in this column, yeah, let's get rid of the same column part. After a monster mini attacks a card, you may spend 1 unit to disable that monster or minion. And then the ability on this card costs +2 units per use. Resets. I think that just makes it just ultimately much better. Because right, that like there was only working on 2 separate cards. Now it can work on any number of cards, and it just feels more worthwhile. Maybe it's too much, but again, I'd rather it be too much than too little, and then we can kind of nerf it accordingly. Right now, it's kind of just bad. Oh, I didn't need to do this. Okay. Yeah, the king might be too powerful now, but yeah. Do you have a self-insert in this game yet? No, the plan is to have one. Because it's literally somewhere. It's in one of these documents. That's my plan. Or maybe I got rid of it already. Oh wait, no, it was here that I wrote it down. The beats card. I don't have what it is yet, but the idea is I already have the what's it called? I have the art for it already, you know. I've got this one, the one that was in the like how to play video, you know. I really don't need to open it. You probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, the plan was to, but then everyone redeemed a make a card thing, and now I have like 4 cards to make. Sorry, this one. I was gonna make him into a card. It's my knight armor beats, you know. I obviously won't do this one, that's too whatever, but having me in knight armor I thought was cool. So I do need to do that. But yeah, how are you doing today? Okay, let me try to say your name again. My brain doesn't work well with names, but hon. And I've seen, obviously you're on the Discord server and I've seen your name, but pronouncing it out loud is different. Is it actually a word if I remove the numbers? No, it is not. Perdituous? Perdit. You. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm the worst. Anyway, hopefully you're having a good day. I saw you enter, or you, what am I trying to say? Dude, my brain is so cooked right now. Yeah, I saw that you, finished your game jam entry. That's exciting. I'm excited to play. It will be good. It'll be good to get all those going. Right. So now we have also actually Tuna's card, which is like a whaler man, question mark. Perditious. Okay, is how it's pronounced. Gotcha. Or P3 is fine as well. Okay. It was like my brain just doesn't. Purdy is also fine. Okay. Perditious. I'll remember that. Perditious, I might not remember, but it does sound cool. Perditious. I'm trying to remember. I'm not picky. Also was switching from phone to laptop and missed your answer. Haha. Oh, yes. Okay, of course. I closed it. Hold on. Yes, the goal is to do it. The goal is to add me into the game. However, I have not done it because on stream you can also do a card redeem, and we've gotten, you know, like 3 or 4 card redeems recently, and so I'm just been doing those instead. But yeah, I want to do this is me, so I want to do that. I already have it, you know, for the videos and stuff, so I was like, I can do it, but just haven't gotten around to it because I have been bombarded by requests for the card redeems, which there's definitely going to be in some inflation by the I didn't even spell whale. Wait, hold on. Whatever. Sea captain, I think is what he said last. Captain. There we go. Question mark. I was looking at my 700 coins. Sad I'll probably never get there before you have the price. Probably not. Although I think probably what's gonna happen. Tuna, hello, welcome. Heck yeah. I think probably what it'll be is the same price. It'll be the same price for lands and spells. It'll be like maybe 20 for structures. And then like 25 for heroes. Question mark. I don't know. I think it was Sea Captain. Well, he's here now. He could tell us what he was thinking. Inspo pics in the Discord. Thinking about an anchor sword. Yeah. That would be cool. But yeah, Tuna, you tell us. We're not quite there yet. We got 2 heroes, 2 cards to get through before that, but yeah, probably this is what the price will be, but I almost think this isn't enough. It might honestly need to be like this, this is probably more likely. It's probably a better one. Prodigious. Sorry, I'm remembering. I'm just gonna say it a lot so I remember it. But that's probably what it'll end up being, something like that. Tuna's here to continue his streak. What are you on now, Tuna? Unless you just turned on your chat and promptly fell back asleep, which I would not blame you for. 23, damn, dude. I guess technically you could watch the VOD, but yeah, earlier, Precious, I was saying, I was talking about, I never responded to it. Actually, didn't respond to either of y'all's things. Where is it? AE chat. Yeah, this whole thing. You're pretty much right about this not really mattering. I don't know if you're here for that yet, but yeah, you're right. This is something we're just going to keep an eye on it, and then we'll come back to it. And if it's comes up too often, then we might get rid of it. But you might be right in the fact that it's just like not a problem. And then I would get to this, but we are about to have an ad break. We kind of have this in Arena, so we'll talk about that in a second. All right, we're hitting an ad. I am going to take a quick break. Might be a few extra seconds, but I'm zombie because I want to see Mad Scientist. We're kind of mostly working on mechanics right now. I'm not 100% certain we'll get to art, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, sorry y'all. I'm gonna take a quick break with the ads, and I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes, I think. But yeah, be right back. Watch this video in the meantime.
Ever wanted to make a board game but felt
I feel like it's always doing this video now.
By how much work it takes designing every
I gotta test something. Do they fix it so it's
only to
I go to the next video?
I've been making a cooperative trading card game.
Whatever, we'll do this one. Everyone's
right
been
here
seeing the other one lately. So, okay, BRB.
The bridge card was so fundamentally broken across so many versions of the game that I had to refactor my entire game just to make it work at all. But before we get into that, let's explain how the game works, because if you don't know how the game works, you know? Well, it's how it is. In Armies Against Entropy, players work together, placing cards to gain synergies, allocating units to distribute power where needed, granting each card more health and damage, and battling the Old God, a deck of cards designed to provide challenges to the players and serve as the main antagonist of the game. The most important thing you need to know is that each card had up to 2 different types of effects. There are base effects, which are in the main body of the card, similar to any other trading card game you've seen. Then there were activated effects, indicated by this blue gem box beneath the base effect. These activated effects required certain conditions to be met before they could be triggered. With all that in mind, let's dive into the bridge card itself and its copious problems it had in each version. We'll explore how it evolved and ultimately shape the game into what it is today.
What you doing, little buddy?
Well, the bridge card was so bad, I just figured I'd build a new one.
Well, we fixed it in the end, so you just have to, like, listen to the story.
Yeah, but I think we could still use a new one.
All right, buddy. Just keep doing your thing.
The bridge card was designed as a support card, helping to provide effects from your cards to your ally side of the board. This card was added about midway through the original development cycle, so there were a lot of things changing and happening around it. The intention was to increase interactions between allies, as collaboration is a core aspect of what makes Armies Against Entropy unique. More specifically, it was meant to take activated effects from cards like Farm, where if you had 5 or more units on the farm, you could play an additional card per turn. The bridge would apply that effect to your allies, allowing them to play an additional card as well. While this made it an extremely powerful card, it was integral to the spirit of the game, so we were okay with that. Now, going into it, we understood there could be some problems with this mechanic, as some activated effects behave differently than others. Take the Butcher, for example, which gained units upon the death of a monster. This became an issue because the units created by the Butcher were placed onto itself. As other effects applied to the entire game state, such as card draw or rule changes, the Butcher dealt with the individual card itself, which the other players may or may not have a copy of. To address this, we added a small note stating that these effects didn't apply to unit gain as sort of a band-aid fix, and we called it a day. However, I wasn't completely satisfied with this approach. As part of the next patch of the game, I aimed to add more functionality to structures, since they required more effort to place, trying to allow structures to provide more powerful effects in return for their cost. My goal was to give every structure both a base effect and an activated effect, enhancing their overall impact on the game. The way I decided to implement this was allowing Bridge to synergize with an ally if they have the Trading Post card on their side of the board. So this new effect stated, if the card named Trading Post is in play, this card's effect now also applies to gaining units. Units gained by this are immediately placed onto the Trading Post. Essentially, say a player had a swamp that gains a unit upon a monster's death. The Trading Post on your ally side of the board would also gain a unit. Of course, while this was kind of a fix for the previous version of the card, it ended up being more of a complication. Instead of solving any problems, actually led to more issues. A lot of these stemmed from poor wording on the card, which left certain interactions open to interpretation and causing different edge cases to pop up. For instance, what if the player with the bridge had a trading post on their side of the board rather than their ally? There was nothing stating that the bridge had to be on the ally side of the board, so if you had one, would you end up gaining double units? Or take the fortress card. If the card had the right number of units on it, it allowed your heroes to gain units when they attacked. Which begs the question, would the trading post also gain those units, even though this card was meant for only heroes to gain them? And probably a more game-breaking example, the Elvish Archer. With a proper number of units, it could attack 2 monsters for the
Okay,
cost
sorry,
of 1.
I am back.
This effect was meant strictly for the Archer. So, did a bridge do nothing? Or worse, did it break the game and allow all heroes to attack 2 monsters?
About to bring it up, but
now you might be thinking, why not just reword bridge?
The ad denied me. Okay, let me see. But yeah, we'll see if we get to Mad Scientist today. We might do some art, but honestly, I'm like really tired today. I really didn't get much done. I honestly think I may take a bit of a Christmas vacation because I don't know, dude. I'm feeling kind of burnt out. I just haven't been. I've been like productive, but not necessarily in the stuff that I want to be productive. And I've just been like super freaking tired. So I don't know. We'll see. I might actually take a vacation for myself, but I'm not 100% certain on that yet. But it depends on how I feel. But maybe taking a few days off would be nice. I don't know if that even means taking off from streaming, but it might be taking off from like everything else, you know. I was really happy with how I managed my game entry, and I almost didn't submit it, as I usually like to do more than one play test of my things before I release them publicly, but I just didn't have time for this one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's fine. It's not like, you know, I'm going to judge you. I mean, I am judging. I'm literally judging you, but I'm not also, you know, I'm not going to be mean about it. You know, we all know it's a 2-week period of time, and I'm sure you did great for that, you know. Like, and honestly, there's not like luck, but there's like a bit of a factor where it's just like maybe the idea turned out and maybe it didn't. Like with Blight of Blackridge, I had 24 hours and it turned out pretty awesome, I would say, right? But then I did Stellar Shift and it was kind of like, it's okay, you know. So sometimes you strike gold and sometimes you don't, but either way you learn something, hopefully, you know. And then me hopefully discussing it with you and all that kind of stuff can maybe bring some more insight. I think the combo is fine, just needs to watch it. I just wouldn't be promoting it or including it in deck set or set decks. Well, it's already in a set deck, that's the problem. Promoting it, honestly, I'm going to promote it so we can see if it breaks, right? If everyone learns it and it isn't a problem and it's being used every, like, or it's, you know, people are trying to use it, then it's still broken, then it's a problem. But if you know, what am I trying to say? If people use it all the time and it works, or like it's like, God, my brain, my brain's not working. People try to use it all the time and it works, and it's, you know, broken all the time, then that's bad. But if they try to do it all the time and you can only get it going like 10% of the time, then it's fine, is what I'm trying to say. Oh no, my brain, it's alive, it's alive. I don't know what that was in context to. I'm assuming Mad Scientist, but my brain is melting. This is actually really helpful as I don't know much about AAE, the game. Okay. Well, good. Yeah, well, I would, the biggest thing to help out with that is just watching the how to play video. Oh, what was that about? That was one of the other videos, right? The how to play video is really good, which may have been, no, it was a different one. Or was that the how to play video? Hold on, I need to know now.
Ever wanted to make a board game,
next
but
video.
I've been making a
No, this is
cooperative
the
trade-off
bridge
to
one,
your
right?
ally bridge. This was an
Yeah, it's the
attempt
bridge
to
one.
bite that. It
Yeah,
ended
how to
up
play
being one
video
of the
is
most
probably the
powerful
best thing
and
to watch,
broken
but
effects
that
in
is the
entirety.
dev
This is
vlog
because
ones I
during this
thought were
update, many of the
they're a lot of fun, you know. Did I really do that? Oh yeah, never mind. Okay. I don't know if you saw, but I wonder what you think about the mechanic I mentioned in AE chat. It's probably too similar to King. It just means it could serve as a King rework. Okay, so I already reworked King a bit today. And we can talk about that too. A card that combines units with another during attack or defense. Okay, attacks we have, defense we have. So technically we have both these cards are just two separate things. Both of them are slightly reworking, right? One is King, right? Which I did rework just now, like 4 seconds before you got here. What I ended up doing is that instead of splitting the damage with the let me just read it. When a hero is attacked, you may choose to split that damage with this hero. So it flipped it on its head so you can tank the damage. And then I give him some tanky abilities. One is 1 unit gen per turn, and then he also gains 1 unit when he takes damage. This hero gains 1 unit when it takes an instance of damage. Sorry. I thought I wrote instead of damage. I'm like, please no. Which is maybe too powerful. 1 unit gen and gaining 1 unit might be too much, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then the other card is the this one. Destroy a hero, move all its units to another hero. That's kind of combining an attack. It just means that you're kind of losing a hero in the process. But this is going to need to get buffed somehow. This might be like our next card we look at. But I also did some modifications to Quicksand. It's more usable now. Arena is the next card. Show me the scientist art from last stream, though. Okay, I will. I can do that. Photoshop. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I have a notification. It's probably just one of my friends going live. Close. They're posted a Instagram short. Same, but different. I'm used to 24-hour game jams, so the 2 weeks was really nice. Dang. Yeah, I mean, I guess that was funny. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there he is. There's the mad scientist. He looks mad. He's a mad lad. I'm used to... Right, I already read that. Waking up now, so I gotta elaborate. I was imagining the captain that throws anchors at whales to catch them. There you go. Big old fishing, whatever. It's in context to my brain being at Frankenstein levels of function. Ah, yes. I feel it. Same. I love the idea of whaling harpoons just being a giant sharpened anchor that just flings like a grappling hook. Indeed. Wow, if he could attack on top, that's nutty. He can, which is maybe too crazy, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yippee! He's somehow cooler than I remembered. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad he's cooler. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get to the art today. I'm just too tired, man. I don't know. I'm dead. Arena. We'll probably get through these cards and then it will be done time for me. I probably won't go super long. Used to do a monthly 24-hour game jams on Board Game Geek, which also themed, and some were a bit nuanced to Time Planet Crate, but that was before I finished studying and started working again. So now 2 weeks is much better time frame. Well, yeah, I guess the nice part about a 24-hour one is like you could just spend like, you could be like, all right, I have a singular day to do all this. I guess the biggest thing though is that like I included art as a category in mine, and if I didn't have art as a category, or if I did a 24-hour one, I probably would have to remove the art as a category, unless you wanted to like team up together with people. But I feel like having art and whatever in a 24-hour challenge is maybe too, well, I don't know. I mean, I did Blight of Blackridge. Granted, the art in the original version of the game was much worse than it was in the finish game. Well, I don't know. And I also did Stellar Shift, so it's doable. You just have to like watch the scope of it, you know. Graphics of the game usually what takes the longest. Yeah. Yeah. So the effect of the Whale Hunter would be something like pulling an Old God card to your side and making them tank for your cards. I do kind of like that. Trying to think how that will work. I'm just worried it's going to take way too many words to explain it, but we'll see. I do kind of like the idea though. I think it could work. Pull a OG card to your side of the board for one turn. That card gains units equal to its power level if it I don't know, something like that. That's just to remember. Anyway, let's go back to fixing cards. Okay, Gladiator Arena, destroy a card, destroy a hero, move all of those units to another hero. I don't think this effect is inherently bad, but what I do think is it probably needs another effect to kind of go along with that. Because like the idea is with God of War, right? Is you gain units when attacking. So a lot of the time, especially with like some of their lands and stuff that they have, right? Like, anyone notice any differences with the new tabletop sim? I feel like it runs better on the new engine, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Maybe it's still kind of laggy, I don't know. But yeah, basically heroes, like, so, you know, with Desert, each hero's getting units. With, you know, when these attack, they're gaining units, right? But like, say you have you know, you've gained, you know, 5 units on each hero. So you've got a lot of unit gen on heroes specifically, but the problem is you can't put those units onto a single card and defeat something like I don't know, let's say you have like, I don't know, something that costs 10, like a chaos keep, right? It's like you got this card, so with this you can destroy a card and then this card gains 5 units, right? And it's still gaining 2 units before attacking, and then it can kill this, you know? So maybe an ability, like a base effect, would do well for this. Thought about how a card that sends Old God cards back to the... Although I thought about how a card that sends Old God cards back to the Old God deck could work. That could be an alternative. Or send a card back into the deck. And a card in play. That's a better, simpler mechanic if we can't get the other one to work. Mine's been loading way quicker and my larger games struggle less. Yeah, that's kind of what I noticed. It seems like it loads a lot quicker and yeah, is just faster. Let's leave that up. This is also the idea with a card that can do a combined attack and then they split units halfway after the attack. Yeah, I just, my worry with that is just it might be too powerful to not have any consequences, right? Because just being able to attack with combined heroes changes like the game a lot, and I feel like it might not be enough of a consequence. The idea of the Shaman is also gaining units on cards after they destroy enemies. I could see that. It's basically like that's kind of how the Necromancer works, right? But it'd be like a support Necromancer essentially. And oops. I think the effect on Gladiator Arena is fine. I just think it needs something, some sort of base effect to go along with it. What's some sort of like cool passive effect we could give something that kind of promotes maybe not necessarily destroying your own heroes, because I don't want this to end up being a triggered effect. I don't want it to be like when X dies, gain whatever. It could be like heroes take 1 less damage or something like that, or that's probably too strong, but I guess the problem is a lot of time like really passive effects are too strong. It could be some sort of unit gen potentially. It could just be the same as like Desert. It could be like all heroes gain 1 unit. But It is one less damage is effectively, yeah, the same as gaining 1 unit when taking damage, which is something we specifically did because it helps track, right? It's easier to keep the language all the same. Passive effects. Card for destroying opponent's cards, like a kind of to the victor go the spoil kind of thing. Card draw for destroying opponent's cards. That could work. That does kind of work with I mean, yeah, I guess if you're destroying your own cards, it kind of is nicer to have card draw, right? And I was thinking libraries like that, but this could specifically be monsters, right? I guess it's technically a triggered effect though, which is annoying. One of the biggest things I've done with my game that kind of gives me, it's kind of annoying the way I've structured my game. And at this point, why won't let me click on this? I just can't change it at this point. Is you can't have a triggered effect and an ability and a unit effect. Like, I guess library has it as a triggered effect. I kind of like a wizard. I wonder, oh, wizard does have that though, don't they? Yeah. I wonder how it would work in the war deck. There is definitely a potential for probably the most busted deck, which is just the... It's a combined war and magic deck. Is the wizard fact a triggered effect? It is. So I guess it's the same as the wizard's effect. So let me explain why this is a problem real quick. Base effects are usually like things that happen immediately, things that happen in unit phase, right? Like, so this would be like, you know, you play the card and it just happens. Things happen in unit phase. So like this card gains 1 unit for each like land that exists, right? So it's things that kind of is like an innate ability of the card. That's the base effect, right? Unit effects are if they have a certain number of units on them. Triggered effects are like if-then statements. So if this dies, then you gain a card. The problem with that is that I can't have like, and then I guess abilities are the last one, which is, you know, I spend a amount and then I get the ability. The problem with that is I can't have like an ability and a triggered effect in a card. Like technically I could just like make it so these boxes could go into the base effect and you just have 2 of these sort of colored boxes, but it kind of just gets weird, unfortunately. But like I feel like there's more like passive effects. Like this one's like when defeating a monster with this hero does not trigger death effects. That's not really a triggered effect. It is like a conditional effect technically, but it's not like it triggers the death effect not happening, right? Merchant has a triggered as a passive. sort of. If the trading post card plays or is in play, you may move units from this card on trading post at any time, regardless of game phase. Not really. Because you can just move units. It's not when this happens. It says if trading post exists, right? But that's not really a triggered effect per se. It's not an event happening in the game, right? Triggered effect would be like if X happens, then this. It's a conditional, but it's not an event conditional. If that makes sense. I kind of did a bad job of explaining it at first, so that's kind of my bad. How do you feel about card effects? How do you feel about card effects that enable playing an additional card per on a turn? This is something I've been specifically thinking about for the reason of the Sea God, but I think it could be balanced for general cards too. It's probably broken without some sort of cost, right? There are 2 cards that let you play more cards currently. With the exception of spells is farm, which requires a unit cost. It's a unit effect. And then embassy, which has a unit cost. Which this might actually need to be less units. Nothing triggers because it persists. Yeah. So it gets kind of weird, but because honestly, a lot of cards just don't have base effects, which is maybe strange, like looks wise. But I mean, we also have a card that has literally no text on it, you know? It's like, so. Right now I'm following. Yeah, it's kind of silly. I feel like I'm too deep in it now to change it though, you know? I could. I don't want to though. I'm kind of at that point where I don't think I need to. It's an interesting design challenge, but it does help keep the cards from getting too complex, I guess, which is maybe nice, but should we look at some of the stuff I've written down in the past, maybe? We have the mermaid. That's not it. Gain units based on the number of heroes in play. That's interesting. That potentially could be it, actually. That's not a bad one. It's kind of like the reverse, but then again, it's kind of anti-synergy with itself is my biggest worry about that. Because then you, in theory, if you're gaining, you'd be gaining units for each hero, which would then allow you to give units to those heroes, but then its ability would destroy a hero, which seems kind of bad. Right? I don't know. Is that too anti-synergy? Like, it almost would just be better if it has the same effect as Desert, but I was thinking for a Sea Guys being able to play additional cards if you have more in the hand than on the board. That's kind of interesting. We do actually have one god that already does play more cards, which is kind of interesting. This guy, we've literally never tested him, but you can play cards during play phase, or you can't play cards during play phase, but you can use your ability to play cards. It takes 2 units to play a card, but it costs 2 units plus 2 units per use. It resets at the start of your turn. You get 6 unit regen per turn. Which gets kind of weird. You can basically, if you have a ton of units on your god, you can play a ton of cards, but it is kind of a weird trade-off god. I could potentially see that though, Tuna. Although almost, yeah, I guess I could see that, yeah, because it's like the idea is like throwing cards back into your hand, and so if you have enough cards in your hand, then you can play more. I don't think that's a bad idea. I'll write it down with the mermaid here. Sea god. Play more cards if your cards are if you have more cards in hand than in play. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, honestly. It's pretty good. Already did that one. Card that puts old god cards back into deck, which is something you already said. Tavern, draw a hero. Interesting. Bank, add interest. Okay, so these are actually some decent already made cards. I really need to organize these again. When a card enters your hand, gain 1 unit. These are a lot of the ideas you gave me already. Losing units, gain some back. It's a rebate. I just thought of an interesting one that would be like gain units equal to the like, I don't know, gain units equal to like half or a fourth or whatever of the cards in your discard pile, but that would be probably insane. That'd be like a God of Destruction card. Oh, I missed the other one. Hold on. Thematically, it's like a tsunami, but also I think it would be some other effect along with it. Yeah, probably. Because gods kind of have a right to be strong true. This tuna guy with some great ideas, right? It's true. It's like you know how to play the game. You've got an understanding of how the game works. Blind Rage. Attack until you die. I do like that idea on a card, but I also think it's like, I feel like it would have to be, I don't know how that would work. You'd have to be able, like, it's basically how the Pyromancer works. But yeah, I think honestly the strongest deck would be like the war deck mixed with some of the magic deck. Well, some a turtle protector like dude, indeed. Effect triggers twice. Interesting. Double agent, blind rage, gain X units, but old god draws a minion. No. Change any. No, that's too powerful. Must attack another. Players must attack another player. No, let's. You play a card out of play phase. We actually already have that. It's already a thing. I mean, unless that's. Well, I mean, I guess that could be its own ability. Card that changes the game phase, which is kind of interesting. These are all specific card. When a card is discarded, gain units. Gain units when other card is attacked. If this card is destroyed, you may immediately gain a unit, sacrifice units, get more later, double, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. How much sacrificing of your own heroes does the war deck do? Not that much. Could you do something like reshuffled sacrifice heroes back into the deck instead of discarding them into ooh, I'm actually liking that a lot. Ooh, that's a good idea. It's kind of like the it's a little like the mages or like the magic deck card. Did think about that, but I think that would just mean the effect is already. Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. You just reword okay, so there's two ways we could do that, right? We could have it so this card is when a hero dies, it goes into your draw pile rather than your discard. All right, that's option A. Yeah, you were thinking if like it worked on sacrificing a bunch of your cards, then that would make sense. That would make, if it specifically said sacrifice, it would make a lot more sense in the war or the destruction deck. The war deck is kind of the opposite spirit to the Colosseum. It's all about preserving your cards. That's why this is kind of cool, right? Because it's extremely useful for the because honestly the ability on this card is kind of counterintuitive to the deck itself, right? Because I guess this is sort of the play, right? Is you have a bunch of heroes. This is sort of how the deck works. This is literally the only hero that doesn't work in this game. Well, not quite, but the idea is you have a lot of heroes with low cost on them, right? So it's like you gain, when you attack, you gain like 2 units, but you're losing units when you're attacking, so you're not gaining as many. And then your desert, you know, it gains 1 unit on each person, and then they'll keep attacking and they'll take damage. And eventually you'll end up with, you know, opposed to like, you know, someone else's deck, they'll have a singular card that they've moved, you know, a bunch of units from lands, and then they can get like really big cards to attack stuff. The difference here is in the war deck, you usually end up with a lot of damage split across them. So that kind of allows Gladiator Arena to sort of be a finisher move card, right? It's like, okay, I'm destroying this card and I'm gaining 5 units here, and then I'm destroying this card and I'm gaining 5 units here, and now I can attack and kill the big thing, right? But it's really counter to the deck itself because you want to attack as much as possible. So honestly, I think that's kind of a cool ability that you get to put your heroes back into your thing. I think Tuna might be right and it might be too powerful, but it is less powerful than Necromancy Altar in theory. Well, sort of. It's not on a unit effect, which does make it kind of stronger because it's just persistent. But we could try it, right? Again, I'd rather something be too powerful and use it all the time and decide whether it's broken or not. Then never use it at all, right? just because of how strong War Deck already is. Yeah, I imagine Mal's gonna get a nerf soon. He's probably gonna only do gain 1 unit before attacks instead of gaining 2. I imagine that is how he's gonna be nerfed, but it only triggers the first time a hero dies each turn then. Let's just try it as it being more powerful, and we'll see how it goes. When a hero dies, hero is destroyed. I always spelled destroyed wrong. When a hero is destroyed, you may choose to put it in your draw pile rather than your discard. I don't know why you wouldn't choose to do it, but maybe because your discard, draw pile, and reshuffle. And how do I word this in the other things? Because the God of Magic has it. I probably also don't need to say rather than your discard because that's redundant. Isn't that a triggered effect? Maybe. Let me see how I word it. Sometimes you can word it in just a different way and it works fine. When a hero is destroyed, you may choose to put it in your draw pile rather than your discard. Sort of. I guess giving the option of a choice makes it not a triggered effect. I guess it's slightly different than that, but... into your deck. I was like, why is discard pile or draw pile? Yeah, whatever. It may technically be a triggered effect, but I guess, I don't know. I think don't make it a choice. Making it just every time effect sort of limits on it, limiting the possible interactions with things that interact with discard. Teach people to shuffle all along. But I don't know how to shuffle. So if I had a deck full of cards, I would just tell you to reshuffle in real life. My soul would evaporate. I mean, you could just do the, a simple shuffle. A lot of time, if you have card sleeves, you can just push the cards together. Yeah, I guess it is more interesting if it's not chosen. this may technically be a triggered effect, but the way I'm wording it, I'm trying to make it not sound like that. I'm trying to make it sound more like a passive. When your heroes are destroyed, you now put them in your deck, then shuffle your deck. It sounds more like a rule than a triggered effect, which is maybe just a wording semantic, but you know what? I don't care anymore. This is my game. My game, my rules. Fight me. Even though I'm the one who, you know, whatever. Although should it say hero? When your hero, because it changes it to an icon, are destroyed and you know? One of those. I need to do this too, because I technically added the mad scientist, but it's not technically in the deck yet. Or the art isn't in the deck. What if it only does it to cards destroyed by card effects? So like heroes only have a right to die in battle. Oh, you're saying like only if they're destroyed by monsters? I don't know. We'll try it for now. Also shifts it more into a passive wording with when making it not a choice. Yeah, honestly, it just kind of depends on how you write it. That was my initial thought. I just messed up on terminology. Heroes that are destroyed via card effect are reshuffled into your deck. I just don't know how many times that's literally one instance, you know? Is there any other instance of that? I don't think there's any other instance of that is the problem. This. Yes, this. For example, it would work with Arena's effect, but not in battle. We're on the same wavelength. I agree that that's cool, but I just don't think it... I don't know what that works with besides Arena, unless we decide to make more cards that work like that. But right now, I just don't think it's enough things. Does that make sense? No other hero can destroy their self. No land can destroy themselves. Necromancy altar is the closest thing, but none of those work. Mage's Tower is discards your hand. It's not an in-play card, so that doesn't count. The only other thing is like teleport, which destroys a card. And then technically, God of Destruction is only allocating stuff off your card, so it's not really an effect destroying it. Don't Old Gods have those sorts of effects? So it'd be an encounter of those somewhat. World Ender technically, when attacking, it instead destroys a card. So that's that could maybe be left to interpretation, but I would argue that it's still attacking, and so that still counts as an attack. Shade will destroy an attacker. So technically Shade. I think it just ends up being like 4 cards. That's the problem. And then, yeah, Desolation. It's Shade, Desolation, Teleport, and Arena. It ends up being like 4 cards, which it like I think is cool, but at this like I think what you guys are onto is cool. I just think that there's just not enough abilities like that for it to work that way. Let's do this. I'm gonna write down what you said. You're getting featured. Get featured, nerd. What do you do about it? What do you do about Tuna? If that's even your real name. Now I'm gonna throw it in here. Card fixes. It even has your name there, which I'm erasing. It was just confusing. Anyway. Yeah, still niche, but I do actually like that considering war is already so like all purpose, but some balance niche. My 3-month black is glorious, so shiny. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna leave it at it's gonna be powerful for now, see how it goes, and then we'll, if it needs to be nerfed, we'll go back and we'll do something like how you worded it. That is what the how long does that stay up for? I thought it like disappeared eventually, but instead it's just there forever. I could have sworn it went away. Oh, there we go. Now it's gone. I agree with that approach. We can play test. That's kind of how I've been doing it. Like I said, the king is probably way too powerful right now. But I'd rather it be too powerful. It's honestly like, so the it's a lot of like games strategies, like I know League of Legends did it a lot, where it's like they'll come out with a new hero, and they'll purposefully make it too strong so everyone plays it and it's new and whatever, and then you nerf it back to kind of make it I forced it to disappear, so it was my fault. Maybe Tuna would have been eternal. But yeah, and then you go back and nerf it if it's too strong. So I think that is honestly a good approach, because if we have a really strong card, people are going to want to play it, which makes you know, learn whether it's good or not. Plus structures are like, you know, likely to take more attacks, so I'm not too worried about it. Did we actually implement it? When your heroes are destroyed, now put them in your deck, then reshuffle. I think I did put it in, but yeah, I also actually want to check something. I think Shapeshifter might have some weirdness going on with their nameplate, so I just want to make sure if that was an issue. Anyway, gives you that data. Yeah, exactly. It's helps give you data. Okay. The question now is, are we done or do we keep going for a little bit longer? I kind of feel like I should just be done and go relax, but at the same time, I'm kind of on a roll now. Kind of hard to say. Because there was a potential to go play games with my friends. I don't know if they're still on or not, but the other option is we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more cards. You can't kill my creative streak. We're in the zone. Okay, deal. Let's see, you can teach noobs how to play live on stream, but I'm a tad busy now. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. We do. Have you seen the how to play video? We're in another ad. Okay. Ad time. Here, hold on. I guess you're not. Oh god, wrong
I
button.
wanted to make a board game, but
subscribed.
I'm turning my card. I was playing. What's up? I'm trying to think of a way. Hey, I'm B. Hi. I'm waiting your turn.
If you don't mind.
This is recently. This is.
There you go. Watch that in the meantime. It probably will put you in an ad, and you'll see like half of it. But
face the relentless onslaught.
I will be right back.
Choose your god. Expand your domain. Build mighty structures and rally great heroes to defend this world you call home. Stand together, fight back, and strike down the old gods before they unmake all of existence. In this handcrafted game, every card, rule, and monster was created from scratch, and it continues to evolve, shaped by the hands of everyone who plays it. If that sounds fun to you, stick around, and I'll show you all the ways you can play the game and how to play it. If you need a specific part of the video, everything is timestamped, so you can just jump to exactly what you need. Getting into it, first you will need the game. Currently, there are 3 main ways to play it. Tabletop Simulator. This is a $20 Steam game where you can load the Armies Against Entropy mod, and it's ready to play. Screentop.gg, another digital board game hosting service. It's a little less feature-rich, but completely free to use, making it the most accessible option for players. All you need is an account. Print and play. If you prefer a physical version, there are several options available, including a printer-friendly version. You can find links to all these versions either on my website or my Discord server, which you can find in the description. The Discord is also a great way to send feedback, give ideas, and find someone to playtest the game with, as the game is still a work in progress. Both on my Discord and my website, you will find a fully illustrated rulebook. I'll be going over almost everything here that's covered in there, but if you prefer a written version to reference, well, it's there. Okay, now that you can actually play the game, let me tell you how to play it. First, let me explain the goal. Your goal is to work together with a friend to defeat the old god. To do this, you will place cards on your turn, divert units to grant your cards more power, and attack the enemy forces. Once you've cleared the way, you can strike down the old god. Though be careful, the old gods look to do the same. Using their automated deck, they can attack you with powerful cards, dismantling your forces. If they can destroy all your cards, they can attack your god, and you lose the game. To play Armies Against Entropy, you'll require a few components. At least 2 decks of player cards. Currently, the game is balanced around 2-player experience, but there are alternate game modes you can try out if you're feeling wild and crazy. Most of those are listed in the rulebook themselves at the end. You'll also need an Old God card deck, a minion deck, and unit tokens. In the digital versions, these are provided for you, but if you're playing a print and play, I would recommend poker chips. Dice and roll down counters also work, but I find poker chips much easier to use. Player cards are vital for players to battle the old god and achieve victory. Each card has unique functions such as deploying units, utilizing special effects, and even modifying game mechanics. There are different types of player cards, each serving a unique purpose for the game. Here are those card types along with the icons associated with them. Gods are the first card a player chooses, which helps them to define their playstyle they'd like to use during the game by granting them a powerful effect. Heroes are placed on the front lines and typically are going to be dealing and receiving the most damage. Most heroes have the ability to attack, allowing you to defeat the threats controlled by the old god. Lands are the player's main source of unit generation. Protecting your lands is crucial to having the power to defeat the old gods. Structures have some of the most versatile functionality in the game. These cards can have a wide variety of effects, helping you to create powerful synergies. The main caveat is these cards must be placed above lands to gain their effects. Spells are extremely powerful cards, being able to be played at any time and resolve immediately, allowing you to get out of a tight situation. Besides the player card type icons you've just seen, there are also a few other icons that you need to know. Unit gain. This icon represents how many units a card gains per turn during their unit phase. Units gained with this icon are placed directly onto the card. More on this in the unit section in a bit. The attack icon. This icon shows whether the card can attack or not. Typically these are hero cards, but keep an eye out. Some heroes don't attack, while other card types might be able to. Next are card effects. Player cards typically have 1 or 2 types of effects, a base effect and/or a triggered effect, unit effect, ability, or side effect. Base effects. These are found on the base of the card like you would see in any other card game, and the effect is an inherent ability of the card that is active once placed. Triggered effect. Triggered effects activate once a specific requirement is met, and that effect occurs immediately thereafter, regardless of game phase. Unit effects. These effects require a specific number of units to be placed on the card to trigger. Once active, the effect remains active until the number of units falls below the required threshold. Abilities. Abilities are unique actions that can be performed that often involve a specific cost or requirement. Once the cost is paid, these effects happen immediately. Side effects. Side effects are negative consequences that trigger once a card is played. They don't prevent the card's use, but represent the drawback that comes along with a beneficial effect. Let's talk a little more about units. Units are the most essential component in the game, representing the forces the players control. They contribute to the strength of the card that they are placed on, determining its health and damage it can inflict. Units are the lifeblood of a card. If a card loses all its units, it is destroyed and moved to the discard pile. Now that you know the basics of how player cards function, let's talk about the Old God cards, the primary antagonist of the game, represented by an automated deck that relentlessly draws new threats for the players to face. Each card serves to dismantle the player's forces by attacking them directly or imposing negative effects. First are the Old Gods themselves. They are the primary adversaries, setting the game's difficulty by summoning powerful cards from their deck and overwhelming the players. Minions are weak cards played by the Old Gods to steadily erode the player's defenses, applying constant pressure throughout the game. Monsters are powerful cards played by the Old Gods, intended to deal damage to players with devastating attacks and abilities. Wastelands are cards that empower the Old God to increase its card draw, attempting to overwhelm the players with additional threats. Ruins are cards used by the Old God to impose negative effects on players, disrupting their strategies and changing the performance of the Old God's cards. Curses are cards that immediately resolve, inflicting harsh penalties on the players, such as forcing difficult choices, disrupting their plans, or destroying their cards.
Alright, I'm back.
This icon refers to the Old God's main deck, which consists of monsters, wastelands, ruins, and curses. This is typically...
Don't think I have, but I'll have to take a look. Indeed, I'll have to take a look right now. We're having a look right now. It's really good, honestly. Also, Beats, remember when you set a hard cap on how many more heroes and structures you do, and then I decided to get a creative power boost, I think, an entire new deck archetype. By the way, since I haven't actually fought World Ender, but it's only been suggesting cards that counter it. How do you usually beat it? Lots of units. Banish. Pretty much the two main ways. I mean, earlier on, it's less hard to kill because it gains units based on how many cards you have, or it gains power level basically based on how many cards you have. But does the game work as a solo experience, or is it designed to be purely cooperative? It does work as a solo experience. I would just play it as if you are two people, if that makes sense. So play with two gods because it's balanced around cooperative, but you can play it by yourself. I have done it many a time. You don't want to play as a singular god because you will get your spoop spopped. You know what I mean? Okay, Magic Academy. If we're gonna stay on, we're going to be productive. This one may not need to change, but I'm trying to decide. When an allied spell is played, you may take it into your discard pile. Which is, of course, specifically for it makes it so it's only specifically for God of Magic. It basically makes it kind of worthless in any other deck. Obviously, like if you have 5 units on I have an idea for this. Let me put these down here. I think I know how to switch this up. I don't think it needs too much of a change. There's a lot of cards that specifically have cooperative effects, so basically need to build a solo deck to avoid useless cards. Yeah. Most cards like aren't like super solely that way, but yeah, I mean, it's just the cooperative, like having two decks just makes it feel better, you know? You're much weaker alone. There's not really a way to balance it. Maybe I can make a god so you can play as a solo experience, but yeah, I think it's probably just better you play as two decks, which might be difficult for some people to track, but I don't know. Okay, so currently Magic Academy is when an allied spell is played, you take it into your discard pile. This is currently worthless for anyone but the God of Magic. So to fix that, we could say instead into your deck. I think that's fine. It does mean if both players have a Magic Academy, they can trade spells back and forth forever, but I think that's okay. Now, the other problem is if this structure has 5 or more units on it, you spells no longer have side effects when played, which means you basically have no detriments for playing spells. I'm glad you're not Australian with how many times deck has been mentioned today. There you go. I won't try to say deck in an Australian accent, mostly because I'm not confident I can pull off an Australian accent without sounding British, and that seems you know. Here we are. When an allied spell is played, you may take it into your deck. So there's two options. Well, there's two abilities here, right? These are the two abilities. This one we fixed, right? We put it into your deck instead of into your discard pile, which now makes this usable in any other deck. Yeah, Aussies love talking about their big brown decks and how many people fit on them. True. So very true. Every time I watch Australian Clash Royale's YouTuber Ken, it sounds like he's just thirsting for men. There you go. Your spells no longer have side effects when played. This is a very powerful ability, but let's think about it for a second. You have to place this. Currently, you have to place this card. Let's just do this. Shmeep and shmop and shmeepity shmop, beepity bleep and bleepity blop. Currently, to get this to work, you have to have a land. You have to put this card onto the land and then get 5 units onto it. You then have to have a spell in your hand and then play that card. This isn't a spell. Let's grab an actual spell. Let's just say, I don't know, banish from existence. That feels like a lot to not have this effect. Is that crazy? Like, you disable one of your heroes when you play this. Like, you could save 5 units, put it on your hero, and then just disable your hero and not have to play two cards. You know? Like, I feel like that just seems like a waste of, like, resources, right? To get this working. Yeah, you get your allies cards, but I almost feel like... Here's my thought. I guess this is why I'm kind of saying this. What if we put... You no longer have spell side effects when played as its base effect, and then have the unit effect be when an ally's card is played, you may place it into your deck. This almost might not need to be a unit effect either. This could be a, this could potentially be a triggered effect. Which makes it a ton stronger, but again, I think buffing everything is kind of the goal right now. Really needs playtesting if you're trying to abuse spells. Yeah. I mean, what's like the worst detriment for a spell? You know, is the question. Like, what's the worst? I mean, probably teleport, which lets you destroy a card, but if you're using teleport, like, you're probably going to lose anyway. Or you're probably winning anyway, rather. Sorry. Demolish is probably the second worst, where it lets you play one less card. But you're not spamming Demolish ever, you know? It's probably the worst on Raise an Army. But it's not like that can give you infinite units necessarily. We do need to add the stipulation. Then shuffle your deck. We'll try it. Worst case, we die, you know? There are some even without detriment, so it's not even an all spells thing, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, we're just gonna go for it. How does Scorch Earth work? You play it, and so it's kind of so you destroy it. Basically, like the idea of it is that when you play it, it destroys the enemy land or enemy wasteland, but then it draws its card draw immediately. Which sounds bad, but if it's the end of your turn and it's going to draw it anyway, you may as well play Scorched Earth, because then it destroys. It's not going to pull more cards on the turn after that. If that makes sense. So it's like, kind of like, I couldn't get enough attacks in, so I may as well play Scorched Earth. Is kind of how how that works. This actually should, the side effects should be a symbol. I'll have to look that up. It's probably cost still in the I just realized that that's probably still cost. Or is it not even in here? CT is what it is. I really need to probably like rework my entire thing here. And like fix my code, if you will. But you know, here we are. Okay. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna refresh the CSV and see how all these look. That is the wrong one. That is the wrong symbol. I think it's just because we've never had it in an image before. And it's probably the wrong one. This one. Icon index. CT. Yeah. It was wrong. By the way, I know the ratio of heroes and structures to lands and spells is unbalanced, but I was thinking that's probably not a bad thing considering lands have an express purpose while structures and heroes can be a lot more varied in their goals. It's true. It's true. I don't mind that it's off, honestly, and especially because lands aren't necessarily always as interesting, right? I think it's more that I don't know. I just think we could also still do more with them. Especially spells. Spells we could definitely do more of. All right, let's try that again. I've had like a headache for the past like, I don't know, 4 days. It's been crazy. Not going away. Oh yeah, there's the Mad Scientist card. I mean, it doesn't have art, obviously, but there's the new King, which is crazy. When this card is attacked, may choose to split damage with this hero. When a hero is attacked, you may choose to split the damage with this hero. 1 unit, whatever. This hero gains 1 unit when it takes an instance of damage. I don't know if that's like the right wording, but I'm gonna leave it for now. Other one, do we fix? This one. When your heroes are destroyed, you now put them into your deck, then reshuffle your deck. Okay. And then this, well, let's refresh CSV one more time. That's not working yet. Let's try the old refresh all CSV option. Spells have a ton of unexplored potential Because we've been so focused on heroes and structures as a community, indeed. I think the unit gen needs to go, probably. I honestly just couldn't decide between the two, and so I did both. That didn't work. I think it should be working. It's just... Oh, I know what's happening. Oh. Okay, I guess at some point that will change. That's fine. It's okay. Yeah, leave it for now so I can say my card is the most busted in game. Also, so next time you do a tier list, you can compare how different they are. You know, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, you're probably right. I think the unit gen does need to go. I know, I know what you just said, but I was just thinking about minions. He basically is invincible against minions. Doing tier lists every 6 months might actually be a good idea. Yeah, honestly. You can say it was most busted sometime either, yeah. Unless we just give it an effect similar to Cleric instead, and then we can leave it. No, it's technically different. I'm almost tempted to have it just be like, when this hero takes damage, it takes one less to a minimum of 1. But I'm not entirely certain. Because it's technically different. Did that wrong. I guess damage is a proper term in this game. I don't know. We'll try that. It's different, but why not? We'll see how it works. So it can still be hurt by minions, but is that any different than the It is different than how the cleric's ability works because it's splitting damage. Maybe we could word it like how the clerics is instead, but instead take on. Let me see if that makes more sense. This hero gains 1 unit before taking damage by a taking no, it can't be by a no, this could work, but then the split damage thing doesn't work, so never mind. We're just gonna leave it. I think we're probably gonna be done soon. I think maybe we do one more card and then I call it a day because I think my brain power is failing. And that works now. Beautiful. Your spells no longer have costs when, or side effects when played. When an ally spell is not the proper thing. How do I make that an icon? Is it like weirdly plural for the thing? Yeah, it's spells for some reason. When spells is played. Okay. Done. I really should have just made it variables, but I also think if a hero has the same ability as something else, but it's nerfed because it has another thing it can do, it's okay. It's not really even nerfed, it's just this just made sense with its other ability. It stacks on top of itself, so I don't know. We'll see. All this stuff can change. Nothing's permanent. All right, we'll do one last one. I'll even let you pick. We've got Expedition Vessel, Embassy, Church of Dusk, Divination, Assassin, or Windmill. Windmill is just a wording issue, so maybe not that one, but we'll do one more and then we'll be done. What are you thinking? Assassin, no contest. I mean, it does mean nerfing the assassin, potentially. Let me look at assassin. Pick the one that needs the most work. I can't remember. I mean, it is broken. This deals. Oh, it was mostly. I think so here's I think the only thing that's really a problem with the assassin is that the biggest problem is a turn 1 win, right? I almost feel like we need to play with the assassin before I do anything with them is my biggest thing, but turn 1, I play an assassin. Double is just a hard concept to think about with units. Yeah. I honestly think this one just needs to be played with before we do anything. I mean, what's the most units you can get on a hero turn 1? Well, let's just say we're playing war. So that's... I mean, technically it's not war. War doesn't really get you the most units. Let's say Is humanity or does... No, it's humanity is the most. Okay, so you play humanity, you get 1 unit on this card, 2 on here, and say we play like, I don't know, a plains. We get 3 units here. We throw all these units. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. It has 7 units. It can technically do 14 damage. Let's say we also play Raise an Army, which we're starting to increase the rarity of this happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we can do, I guess, 24 damage, which is 1 away from killing the old god. But like, I don't know. There's not like many more ways to get more units there. I mean, yeah, you could do it on turn 2, but I honestly think we need to play it. Because also, if you have 12 units on it and it's like turn 2, you're still losing a crap ton of health there. And with altruism, it's kind of different, but I think we need to play with the assassin before we rework them. I'm gonna stand by that for a bit. All right, pick another one. Expedition Vessel, Embassy, Church of Dusk, Divination, or Windmill. Some of those are just little tiny fixes, but I don't remember what's what anymore. And then we'll be done, I think. Yeah. I think the eventual rework will just involve dealing set bonus damage. I agree. It'll probably be like deals plus X damage, you know, plus 2 damage, and takes plus 2 damage, I think is probably the fix. Kitten, why are you attacking me? I agree with that, Tuna. I think that's exactly what will happen. But I think we need to play with it first, see how well it works. Divination because it needs to the art to do done justice. True. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. For one, were we looking at the current version of Divination? It's almost impossible to tell. Let's look at what it does and see how we feel about it. Okay, when you put this card, when this card is, sorry, you may reveal 5 of the old god cards, then place them back in any order. When this card is played, put one of your cards your choice from your hand into the top of your draw pile. I think what Checkers was suggesting is put one card to the bottom of the deck and the rest in any order. Or discard one of the cards or something, you know? Ooh, that's really good. I think put it in the bottom of the deck is cool. I'm trying to figure out how to word that. Wait, divination's in game, isn't it? Or in the main version of the game, right? Yeah. You may reveal the top 5 cards of the Old God deck, then place one card at the bottom of the deck and the rest back in any order on top. If you delay it that much, it's effectively destroyed. What's the best case scenario of that, by the way? What's the best card you can put into the bottom? I don't know, like World Ender, probably, or something like that. Just any card that you wouldn't want to play or wouldn't want to play against. I guess it's kind of situational, right? But any sort of like, you're like, I don't know, there's a Ravager or something you can't take getting hit more or something like that. So we do need to talk like this we do need to do a design talk about what's it called, what's the game, about how the World Ender is like one of them. Honestly, I'd probably pick Shadow's Den over World Ender to throw in the bottom. I don't know. World Ender is easy to put there. Maw of Forgotten's easy to put in the back. Rift Spawner is easy to put in the back. Shard Brute, depending on your sort of situation. Any land card potentially, or wasteland card, Shadow's Den, Amplification Tower, like Desolation, Wrath, Dark Ultimatum, Surprise Ambush. Pretty much any of those cards I would say are pretty strong candidates for pushing to the back of the deck. You're just trying to get me to do an Old God tier list. I see what it is. We do have to do that at some point, but we do need to figure out what Old God deck building looks like, just because we need to figure out what limit on numbers are right now, because it's unfair currently with how many player cards there are versus, because there's only 24 in a pre-built deck versus a Old God deck which has all the cards, right? It's like, I don't know. It's 53 cards to the player's 24, which I feel like is unfair. It needs to be something more like, what's 24? 24 divided by, I guess that's not, that's saying a game can go for 12 rounds, but usually that's untrue. Usually you're playing more cards and discarding. Oh yeah. Okay. So here's the math. Let me do this, right? So to figure out how many Old God cards you have, you want to figure out how much action economy a player has and how many cards they can play in an individual game. They have 24 cards discluding their God. We can subtract 4 of those because that is the number of spells they have, which doesn't count to their number of cards they can play in a given game, right? So that would be 20 cards. We can divide that number by 2, which is the number of cards a player can play in a given game, right? Or per turn, right? So that would be 10 cards, or 10 turns, right? Is what that, 10 turns of cards. Now, there's a lot of cards that make you discard cards and stuff like that. So this is probably also not fair, because that would still mean you would multiply this by the number of cards an Old God plays, which is 3 per turn. Ow! Why do you hurt me? Which ends up being, 30 cards in their deck, which actually isn't horrible, I guess. Like 24 to 30 seems actually about right now that I'm thinking about it. but we need to figure out what those numbers break into for types of cards, right? Because their spells and or curses, right, play differently than player spells. So we gotta do some math to break that down of like the proportions. I don't want to leave this here actually. Old God card or deck size. I don't know if that all made sense, but we'll need to figure out the proportions. I guess we can just look at what the proportions currently are. Kitten, she just keeps attacking me. She really wants my attention. Which is just another sign we should be done. Weren't we finishing something though? What were we doing? What do you tell me to do? Oh, divination. I think we finished that though, didn't we? You may reveal the top 5 cards of the Old God deck, place 1 card at the bottom of the deck, and the rest in any order on the top. On top. Yes. Which I guess to my point, placing 1 at the bottom is different when there's 30 Old God cards versus when there's what, 52 did I say? 53, right? so that's kind of to my point, right? Actually, I think there's 54. I think I threw one off onto the whatever, but so yeah. Is there a way you can make this maybe slightly shorter? You may is redundant. Reveal the top 5 cards of the Old God deck. Place 1 card at the bottom of the deck and the rest back. Rest on top in any order. Look how much shorter I got that. It's a whole line shorter. Reveal the top 5 cards of the Old God deck. Place 1 card at the bottom of the deck and the rest at the top in any order. I'm going to assume people are going to understand that's in the Old God deck and not somewhere else, but here we are. Tuna, you still awake? I have a feeling you're getting sleepy. I have a feeling you died. I'm so awake, it's crazy. I don't believe you. I'm gonna make you go to bed in a second. Once we see when this card, if this card is good. I'm just listening attentively. It's okay. You can go to bed in 2 minutes. Real top 5 cards of the Old God deck. Place 1 card at the bottom and the rest of the cards. There we go. Cool. Done. I have a clip now. Nice. Good. Beats admitting to keeping me hostage. Good. I like how it says we have 6 viewers, even though I only see 3 in the actually, wait, hold on. I know it is sad. All right, we need to go raid someone. I think I'm done. I think I'm tired. And maybe want to get 1 game in before I go to bed. Even though it's kind of late. And I'm probably going to be playing games in the morning with my friends because we have a scheduled game date. PUBG. Been playing a lot of PUBG with my friends. Been enjoying it a lot. And then some Baldur's Gate in the morning. So I probably shouldn't stay up too late, but that's a good one. PUBG or Baldur's Gate? Or both? Both. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I've been really enjoying PUBG. It's a lot better than it used to be. Not to say it was bad before, but I'm enjoying it. I think they like made the whole finding loot and stuff situation a lot better. All right, so we still have Expedition Vessel, Embassy, Church of Dusk, Assassin, and Windmill to fix. I think, honestly, the only one that really needs work is Church of Dusk, and the rest are kind of like just slight balance fixes, but... and then Assassin probably will need something, but I think I'm going to hold out judgment before, you know, until we've played it, so... All right, let's do one of these. Hopefully y'all had a fun stream despite it just being game mechanics. Although I feel like game mechanics is fun. I feel like it's the most like conversational like game thing we do. So it's just we didn't end up doing art like I said we would, but let's find someone to raid. Raid Shadow Legends. I don't know why I said raid Shadow Legends. Don't we have one of our friends online? I feel like we have to have a friend. If you find a friend. Nova's on. We could raid Nova. Although she's playing Final Fantasy, which isn't obviously fine, but at the same time, I feel like isn't as relevant to what we're doing. We could raid Cage the Ocean, which she's playing TCG Simulator, which is fun. Yeah, brainstorming's her favorite thing. Well, I can't play Baldur's Gate because of a few character customization options it has appearance-wise. That's a huge factor for me. Yeah, I think there's so many mods for that game that I guarantee you can find something that you like. And the mod thing is built into the game now, so. I don't know. What do you feel, Tuna? Should we raid Nova from the interview I was at the other day, where they're playing Final Fantasy, or should I raid this person I found randomly when I was just hanging out? She was doing art stuff, but now she's playing tabletop card simulator, which seems more on brand for us, but yeah. What do you think? TCG Simulator or Final Fantasy? Both are cool people. Well, I've only seen Cage's stream once, but no, because I had a blackout for that stream and I gotta watch her live this time. Okay, deal. Let's go get Nova. Oh, they're leaving. They're ending stream. Maybe not. All right, not Nova. They're ending stream. Okay, we're gonna raid the other one then. Unless she's ending. She literally ended stream. Well. Electrical blackout, not conscious blackout. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought you just may have been like sleeping. Okay, so the two people I was gonna raid both left. Why does this always happen to me? I'm gonna raid this guy again. She heard us. I was kind of like, nah, both of them. Two people. We raid this guy every now and then. Just cool pixel art. Cool, whatever. Yippee. Yeah, anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you all for being here. We're gonna go raid the Whitechapel. He does cool like pixel art that's like sort of a plague mask wielding, scythe wielding, cool stuff. Anyway, hi, bye. Get some recipe art, sub DDP. Good to see you, and away we go. Arrivederci, indeed. Goodbye, goodbye. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys.